Breaking the silence surrounding health issues is crucial to empowering communities to save lives. Often, communities hesitate to address health concerns due to cultural stigmas, lack of awareness, or fear of repercussions. However, by fostering open dialogue and providing education, communities can become proactive in promoting health and preventing tragedies. Today on your regular Health Talk show, The Physicians, we'll be discussing breaking the silence, empowering communities to save lives. Stay tuned. It's another day with The Physicians, where your health is our business. My name is Dr. Martina Agbere, a regular anchor on this program, and with me is my co-anchor.
I'm Dr. Memuna Yusuf Kadri. Welcome to your favorite health TV talk show, The Physicians, where your health is our business.
And will always be our business.
Yes.
Today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic, breaking the silence, empowering communities to save lives. Memuna, breaking the silence. When you hear the word breaking the silence, what comes to mind?
As the English word is, break the silence.
Which means something is hidden. You've been bottled up.
Yes,
you don't want to speak out.
There's a huge culture of silence that cuts across a lot of things.
Okay.
And people just culturally just believe, oh, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about that. So things are done in secrecy.
Yeah.
There are a lot of taboos when it comes to that. And what does that promote? Because we said empower the communities to save lives.
Yeah.
What does that promote?
Community involvement.
With the things shielded in secrecy, with people not talking, with cultural taboos, it promotes unhygienic practices. So when we break this silence, at least we can then empower communities to save lives.
Okay, I think that word breaking the silence is all encompassing.
Yes.
Because oftentimes when you hear the word breaking the silence, people will always think it has to do with rape.
Yes, or domestic violence.
It's far much more than that.
Yes, because we need to be able to remove that shield, and it's when that shield is removed, it creates a spaces. People can speak up, people can speak out.
So in simple terms, if you are actually harboring something within you that you think you can't even share with another person openly, it means you are bottling up something, and you need to actually break that silence. Well, we'll be back after this short break. Let's see how we can break the silence from our end. Stay tuned.
Every day and in every way, enjoy that I find support. No matter the role you play, nutrient pack supplement for you and me. In your body, that I fight you.
Darvite Nutritional Supplement is loaded with essential multivitamins, minerals, and natural ingredients that helps you to be at your best. Darvite from LB Pharma. Darvite, love yourself.
Welcome to your regular Health Talk TV show, The Physicians, where your health is our business. Today we'll be discussing breaking the silence, empowering communities to save lives. With me in the studio is our very proficient guest, very beautiful and elegant. She's been doing justice to this particular topic, and we decided to bring her on your regular TV show, The Physicians, so you can actually hear from her. She's no other person than the MD CEO of Menis Consulting and CPR Ready Africa Initiative. She's also a licensed life coach, licensed life support instructor. Wow. Licensed life support instructor by the American Heart Association. I hope she also has that of the Nigerian Heart Association. She's no other person than our very, very elegant Mrs. Ogochukwu Okechukwu. Welcome to our program.
Thank you. Good to have you.
Really, the Chukwu lady.
Yes.
Now I'm going to want to talk about breaking the silence, empowering communities to save lives.
Yes.
What exactly, what we hear that word breaking the silence, what does it resonate? How does it resonate with you?
It's high time we talk about this thing. We talked about it because a lot of things are happening and people are keeping it muffled and nobody's talking about it. I think the major issue we have here is that of ignorance. And nobody wants to own up to it. Not the government, not the people, not any part, no sector of the society or the community wants to take responsibility of that. But things are happening as a result of that ignorance. Okay. So people make mistakes and they try to cover it up. And that is largely based on the ignorance. They are not ignorant about this topic. In this case, we're talking about cardiopulmonary resuscitation, I believe. Yeah. We're talking about CPR. People lose people. People die. I have a story of a mom that fed the child, dropped the child, and without waiting for the child to the food to go down a bit or digest, as the case may be, and the child regurgitated. You know how children, babies, a baby, not, and you know, where she was lying down because she's just a newborn, she couldn't turn, and the food flowed to her nostrils, and a lot. She aspired, and everything went. By the time they came back to pick up the baby, she was lifeless. And instead of doing the needful, because of ignorance, of course, they don't know how to relieve a person that is choking, nor provide CPR. And the baby was there, and they decided to pour anointing oil. Now, I'm very careful when I say these things because I'm a religious person as well. I'm a Christian, and I'm a firm believer of my faith in God. But then there's a place of knowing what to do and doing it at the right time.
Okay, so you're talking about CPR. I want us to come back to mental health. Breaking the silence that has to do with mental health. Yeah. So what are some of the common misconceptions surrounding discussions around mental health within communities? Within communities. And how can we address it so that it can actually be broken? Because they believe, for instance, people want to get married and they will ask some certain questions. Do you have anyone with a mental health issue in your family? And if you say yes, you can be rest assured that the man wouldn't want to come, or because they say they have that issue in the families. Do you think this is a misconception? Is it an ideal thing to do?
It's I think with the right knowledge we have now, because before now, once you say mental health, people believe the person is already stuck, raving mad on the streets. Yeah. But with what I know now, I know there's a lot of mental health issues that people have. They are not being discussed. We have the bipolar issues, we have the obsessive disorders, the anxiety, the panic. I never knew panic was an issue, or anxiety. I didn't know it was a disorder until now. So people have this thing. So it's not just, maybe you have one member of the family that was stark raving mad, and they say, okay, because of that, this entire family is, marked a taboo to marry from there or to associate with them in any form. Because you don't know the level. You need a mental health professional like you are to tell us what actually got the person to that point. It may be something that could have been managed, but because it wasn't managed, it got to that level. Okay. I've come to understand that mental health is like every other kind of health, your physical health. If you don't treat headache, it can escalate to something else. If you don't treat malaria, it can escalate to something else. So it may be that simple anxiety disorder the person had that you didn't tackle when it was still in the beginning stage. And then it climaxed to something that made the person to enter the streets. So when you say that this family, I believe that people should move to the next level of having to discuss what actually is this mental health? What's this madness they say is this lineage? What caused it? How does it present? Is it the one that comes, there's some people that manifest as the person grows older, they become more intense. The manifestation, the symptoms become more intense. So you need to do further studies, which most of us don't have the patience to do. We just hear so somebody in this lineage had something like that, and that's it. It could be other things that cost, maybe drug. You don't know what caused the person. So we need to check, do a root cause analysis. What caused that madness? One person mad in a lineage, what caused it? It could be an influence of something, maybe substance abuse. It could be anything,
The truth about this is that sometimes people will just assume that because there's a family history, automatically maybe the girl he wants to marry or the boy she's getting married to, we have no, it doesn't work that way. If for the fact that there's a family history, is just to tell you you are at risk. It just to enlighten you, and that goes for almost all medical conditions. Whether it is hypertension, it is that's why doctors will always ask you, you are hypertensive. Is there anybody in your family that you know? That is for you to know your chances of recovery, your healing, your prognosis, the outcome, and it's very, very important. So with all this now we are talking about in breaking the silence, empowering communities to save life. How can we foster this environment? No, because we want to empower communities to save lives. How do we foster this kind of environment that can empower communities so that people can help to break the silence? What are these things that we need to do to foster that enabling environment?
So I believe the primary thing is education, awareness.
Yes.
Because if you are aware, you can do better on it. You can either, avoid it or handle it when it comes. So awareness, many people are not aware. If you mention mental health or CPR or anything to anybody on the street, you can count how many people can take a poll on that. And most people will not know what you're talking about. So once you say mental health, they think of the madman on the streets.
Yeah.
Once you say, so we need to create more awareness that mental health is like every other form of your health, your physical health, your social health, everything. So once something suffers, it can affect you to a great deal. So we need to train people. Then the cultural and religious influences, believe are so much in this part of the world. So much it affects us. Someone that can give help on the streets. But because, for instance, I don't want to shape any particular religion, but then I know there's a religion that a man is not supposed to touch a woman that is not married to or not a sibling or something. And because of that, you can't save a life because you can't. That's a religious barrier.
Cultural barriers.
Yeah. Cultural barriers of elders. A child cannot do this to an elder. There's a way to do this. So many things. With a pregnant woman, there's a thing. So many beliefs.
You cannot even know if somebody is joined this if you don't even look at the eyes. So imagine a younger person now to look at them and now say that, why are you looking at me? Or
don't have respect.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. We need to pipe low on those things. I know it helps to form us. There's an argument that helps to form us. It helps to form our conduct and behaviors, children grow up to become well-mannered adults. But then there's a limit to it. They should know when to put those things aside and save a life, especially when it comes to saving a life. Because when, in that case, it's a matter of life and death. So you need to do some things. It's when that person is alive that you can now start checking for your conduct, your behavior. Did you respect me or not? It doesn't come there. So there's some things you need to put aside. So education, and if you know it, speak up. If you know it, people don't have knowledge and they're just sitting on it. Speak up. There are so many ways you can speak up now. The social media has made everything easy for you. You don't need to be on the TV or anything. You need to just, as your community, your environment, your sphere of influence, if you can influence them, you've done a lot of work.
Have you had any experience before on this particular thing in the community where you are?
Well, I would say that these things occur. I've seen them. It's all over social media. You see cases like that where people don't respond to emergency because I've heard of a case of a lady that was in cardiac arrest, and a guy came and when you're doing CPR, you have to do it on the bare chest. So you have to strip the lady to the bare chest, removing the underwears, and perform the CPR, and the lady was resuscitated. Then she came back to file to sue the guy for assault. And
who did that?
The lady. And
that survived
in public, that survived. And so by the time the case was taken to court, and the judge read the case and was like, it's because you're alive that you're here to do this.
File the case.
And the case was thrown, of course, out of the court. So this is the things that we see on daily basis that prevent people. We see cases of people, an accident, maybe accident on the road, and instead of you coming to help, you are busy trying to create content. This content-driven community that we have now is actually a problem. Yes, we are making money, we are making impact from the content, but then you should know when to draw the line. And somebody is on the verge of dying, it's not a time for you to create content. Besides, you are encroaching the person's privacy. I haven't given you the right to film me and put out there. If in an accident scene, some parts of the body may have been exposed, and you are making a record of everything. And internet never forgets. In years to come, I will have parts of my body exposed or in a very vulnerable state, and it's out there on the internet because you want to say, oh, happening live here, be warned, be careful. Who are you actually warning? It's an accident. It's an unplanned event. Nobody plans for it.
Okay.
So you're just, so it's not right. It's not morally right for you to do so to people.
Okay, so now empowering communities to save lives. So what is expected of the community's involvement, community involvement? How would you want them to be involved? Is it talking with the community health providers, the community leaders, the social workers? Who are those that are supposed to be involved in saving lives?
Yes.
That you need to actually probably teach the process of CPR?
Yes. Because of the level of ignorance we have when it comes to emergency response and CPR as a whole in the country, we need a lot of grassroots work. There's a lot of work to be done. So that involves the community health, the activists, the government, the politicians. It's better for you to hand them these life-saving skills than give them cups of rice.
Absolutely.
It's better because they are going to use it to save lives. So that education, pushing the information as much as you can. If it means you transcribing it to a language that you can understand, if you don't get English, you have to do so. So I partner with communities. I do community outreach sometimes. We do with organizations, social organizations, religious organizations, and then the corporate organizations. As much as possible, push this information so that it can get even to the last person if there is in the community. Because that's the only way the community can be armed with the right skills to respond to an emergency and save a life when it's needed. You can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I strongly support the statement of you can't give what you don't have. If you are not empowered and you don't know what empowerment is,
Yes.
empowering somebody will be highly limited. So I know we are in the era of social media, and I know how bad social media can be. And we all do know that social media has the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
In empowering communities, how do we leverage on technology and social media to help talk and build that conversation around health-related issues from any health, especially like the CPR we are narrowing down on? How do we leverage technology and social media on one aspect of this question? On the second part is that because our schools, our religious organizations, our corporate organizations are all part of our communities,
Yes.
what should they start doing differently so that they can all, because we are talking about empowering everybody, what should they be doing? And of course, how do we leverage technology and social media?
So technology is a beautiful thing, like you said, good, bad, and ugly all in one. But then we can actually use it in a way that can help us. But then there are limitations to it. So if you are going to the core of the
Slum or how to
yes,
reach communities,
they may not have the right
Tools.
to get to hear what you're saying if you're using just the technology or the social media alone. But then there's a large chunk of the community you can reach via that. So you will put out content. If you can do training online, we do online training, do content, let them know everything is all over, make it available. So we'll make this training available. It's also on there. You go to Google, you Google it, and it's there. So instead of you wasting time scrolling on gossip channel, just 1 or 2 minutes in a day, learn something that can impact your life, that you can use to help somebody. Then for the corporate organizations, you domicile in any community, you can do that as a CSR. So instead of you handing them things one of them should be to teach them. Get experts like us to go sponsor them to go into the community, your host communities, and teach them this life-saving skill. They'll be glad you did. Right? And then you as an organization have reached out to me, say, oh, someone's not in our office, what do we do?
Yeah.
So no, it's not for healthcare industry alone. Banks need it. Whenever you have more than 2 or 3 people, you need it. Because anything can happen. Emergency occurs without,
priorities.
yes, without any information, no prior information to it. So teach them, get people, train your people. When you train somebody in the person will go back to the house and inform the wife, the kids.
Yeah.
It goes down like that. So spend money. It's not that expensive. Most of the things we do, I tell people when I teach schools, it's an ice cream fee. What I charge schools to train a child is more than what they pay to buy a cup of Cold Stone ice cream for the child. So why just a one-off training, and I can go ahead. So all the lofty dreams you have, my child will become this. Then schools can do this. I strongly believe it should be part of the curriculum.
I was just going to ask that. For the policy maker, is it not part? Supposed to be part of the curriculum,
yes.
really?
I've tried. I'm working on it.
Did you experience any resistance when you went to school?
Sure. And that's in the part of payment. They want you to do it, but they want you to do it for free. I can't go to all the schools.
Yeah, it's not possible.
It's not possible. So it needs funding. It needs me to get more manpower. And then whoever you're getting is good. Even if I'm passionate about it, I can do it for free.
You need to
this person will not be able to do it for free.
Yeah.
So schools love it when you bring the idea, they love it. Oh, I want this and all that. Then it gets to once they hear money.
That is actually a challenge because it looks like anything that has to do with healthcare, they always ask for free.
Imagine if you say it was a musician, then they are going to pay for the concert. They will look for that money.
Schools pay, each child pay as much as 15,000-20,000 naira to do football. A child of 5-year-old child, 6 years, bring football.
As extra
but
curriculum.
If you tell them to pay 5,000 to learn a life-saving skill, it's expensive. They want it free. But they will pay for taekwondo, pay for football, pay for swimming, and that swimming you're in the...
Is it the child that is to blame?
It's the parents.
Of course, the parents.
Yeah. The parents. The school.
Certain priorities.
Yes. You have plans for your child to be a big football, but the child needs to be alive to become a footballer.
It's actually a skill.
It's a skill.
Yes.
It's actually a skill. It's a life skill.
So when I tell people it's something, so for the government organization, if the government is going to sponsor it, that's beautiful. For the corporate, they can sponsor for schools, even adults. Your old boys associations. These are the things you should do. You should include it in your calendar to do this at least once a year. Let people learn the skill and everything, and you have better results that way. Because as you train this, they go into the society.
Yes.
It cascades. It goes all around. Everything goes.
And it multiplies.
I actually look forward to when a period when we have everyone will have gotten this skill.
Yes.
Like even if you're in ceremonies, anything happens, you have people that are there to actually
ceremonies, people dancing vigorously and
they slum.
You saw it.
Yes.
One in Benin.
Yes.
One in
old girls. That was old girls. That was old
girls. Shouting instead of doing the right thing.
I hope they won't shout after this episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I expect that they will go and learn. They will acquire these skills.
It's very
so thank you very, very much. Time is not always our friend. Thank you so much, Ogochukwu, for coming on our program. Really appreciate you. I'm sure our viewers out there have actually benefited. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. And to our viewers out there, you've heard it all. Let us all in a community as one. Let us try to save lives. Acquire the skill. It's not difficult. It's not easy. It's very easy. It's not difficult. You just have to make your mind, put your mind there, and you learn the skill. If you learn the skill, I learned the skill. When anyone is in trouble, we're able to do it. And for people in school, please, parents, teachers, let these children learn this particular skill. It's important. They may be the ones to even save you one day. You can't say. And if you also have that skill, you can save that child. Anything can happen. Acquire the skill of CPR. On this note, I want to say thank you for being part of our program. Till next week, stay blessed.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ogochukwu. This is always, we are always a delight when you come on board to not only educate us, but educate all our viewers. Thank you very much. To all our viewers out there, you've heard it all. Please, collectively, let us break the silence. Let's remove all the cultural barriers, cultural taboos, and create that enabling environment where we can learn, relearn, and of course, unlearn. And let's continue these conversations when it comes to our health, because health is wealth. Be kind enough to follow us on all our various social media platforms. And if you want to be a part of the show, you're just a click away. Go to our website, fill the form, and you'll be right there just like Mrs. Ogochukwu. Until next time, my name remains Dr. Ramona Yusuf Kagbe. Stay blessed.
Every day and in every way, enjoy that I find support. No matter the role you play, nutrient pack supplement for you and me. In your body,
Daravite Nutritional Supplement is loaded with essential multivitamins, minerals, and natural ingredients that helps you to be at your best. Daravite from LB Pharma. Daravite, love yourself.